We are live from our studios here in Accra, Ghana, and we are bringing you a special edition of Diaspora Connect brought to you by the Association of African Universities. You can join the conversation via our social media platforms and also our TV platform, tv.au.org. My name is Kwesi Sam, and today we'll be moving straight to the United States of America and bring you an interview, or we'll be interviewing one of our illustrious sons of Africa and Ghana. We'll go for a short break, and when I return, I will let you know who my guest is, and the conversation continues. Stay tuned.
This is Africa's most friendly nation, Ghana. A warm reception awaits you in an environment where you can discover and harness your full potential. Your home is an academic haven lying northeast of the city center, a quick dash from the airport. A spirited community where young, vibrant minds are empowered to express themselves, break academic boundaries, and thrive in an atmosphere of rich cultural heritage and excellence in various collegiate and extracurricular activities. This institution represents a whole new world of fun and offers you a variety of activities, facilities, and services geared towards your total development. Believing in the uniqueness of all our students, we encourage them to pursue excellence in integrity. Welcome to the University of Ghana, your preferred academic destination.
Welcome back from the break. If you just tuned in, you are watching Diaspora Connect on AU Television. And like I said before I went on a break, we are bringing you an exciting edition today, and we will be interviewing one of the illustrious sons of Africa, to be very specific, Ghana. And we have Kojo Asamoa-Caesar. And Kojo Asamoa-Caesar is the Democratic Party's representative who is representing Oklahoma in the United States, and he is the first ever African-American or black Ghanaian, whatever description you want to give. He is the first, and we love him so much. And today we want to find out from him how this dream came to the limelight, and how did he even start the political space at all, and where he is now. What has he have for us as a continent? All right, great. So going through law school, becoming a kindergarten teacher, living in America, did you ever have the dream, the American dream, as you say? Did you ever have the dream and passion to be a politician one day, contest and then be known, and then serve the people of America? When did you even have that dream at all? Was it something that came across or along the line, or something that right from childhood you envisaged and said, look, one day I will get there? How did you have about that dream, and how did you harness it in the first place?
Yeah, so I didn't really have that dream, right? When I got to college, I had a question, not a dream. And the question was, what is purpose and what is my potential? Because my teachers in high school kept saying, Kojo, you have great leadership potential. So they'll say this stuff, and I didn't really understand it. So in college, I was seeking to find out, were they telling me the truth, or were they just being nice? All right. So I got involved on the college campus and tried to be a leader. And then I read a lot of books on leadership and what it takes to be a good leader, and how do you find your purpose. So I was so passionate about trying to find out why I was born and why I was placed on this earth, and what I needed to spend my life doing. And in doing that, fortunately, one thing led to another. And by the time I was a senior in college, I became the student body president of the campus. Right. And once you become that, then people start saying, oh, you could be a politician, right? You have politics in your future. But I kind of still rejected that. But I did go to law school, and a lot of our politicians are lawyers and stuff of that nature. But so I kind of came to just embrace that. But I was like, I'm going to be a different kind of politician. I'm going to be somebody who has a cause, right? That makes it necessary to run for office, rather than just running for office just because you want the power and the position, right? And that is why I decided, instead of climbing up, I went low, right? Into education as a kindergarten teacher, and let me learn about this cause, this education system, how it works in our country, what makes it successful, what causes it to fail certain people, and then once I get to that position of power and influence, one day, however it happens, I'll have a voice, I'll have a mission, I'll have a cause that I'm fighting for. All right. And so that's how it happened.
So it is one thing harboring a vision, having a passion or a dream to achieve something, and it's a different thing making sure that you put every step together to achieve or make it happen. So when you decided to finally go into politics, how was the journey? How did you transition into or from being someone who is not into mainstream politics into mainstream as in politics? How was that journey like, especially you being an African American or being part of the minority, if I should say? How was that journey for you in terms of your mental fortitude, making sure that you have people who will give you support or Ghanaian people to support you? How was it like for you?
Yeah. People have to understand that politics and government is about people, right? Serving people, serving communities, being a part of a community, right? And being rooted in that community, understanding what the issues of the day are, what challenges people go through, right? And what people's hopes, dreams, and aspirations are, right? So in being a kindergarten teacher and then in assuming other roles in the community, I got to meet people and I got to learn about what people were doing. They got to learn about me and find out about what my hopes and dreams were, right? And my story. And so I had that working for me, right? And then I saw an opportunity because of the election of Donald Trump, because of his rhetoric, harmful rhetoric about immigration and immigrants, harmful rhetoric about, shithole countries, right? Referring to African countries, right? His rhetoric about what makes America great. It gave me an opportunity out to be able to counter that and contrast that, right, with my own story, right, and my immigrant story and my thoughts about what actually does make America great. And so I saw that opportunity. And then with the work I was doing on the ground and the people that I come into contact with, they knew me and they knew I was a genuine person. I cared about the community and I would represent them well, right? So that I knew that. But yes, when you're a newcomer, when you're an African American, right, in a district that is 70% white, it's going to be an uphill climb. And first, you have to believe it, but then you have to be able to convince other people that it's possible for it to happen. And you have to be able to withstand all the naysayers and all the things that they're going to say, right? A black guy can't win this seat. He's not the kind of face that Oklahomans can get behind. Right. Okay. All these different things. And so I just had a strong vision. I had a lot of belief in myself and what God had called me to do. So I just stayed steadfast to that. All right.
Great. So how does it make you feel?
I mean, I'm excited. It makes me feel good. Right. It makes me feel like we can make change and that you can represent something greater than yourself. And it's not just about, because the district is majority white and I'm a black candidate, that's going to be a problem, right? As long as I tell my story and I tell the story of, the American dream and America being great when it expands opportunity to more and more people. And that if I succeed, that means your kid can succeed, right? Absolutely. If we build better schools, it works for everybody. And so we take that message of building an America as good as it's promised all over this district. We can make history. And I'll tell you this too. I wasn't expecting the excitement and enthusiasm that I've received from the Ghanaian-American community and Ghanaians, right? All the way back in Ghana. So that has been a pleasant surprise. And it shows me that people are inspired. And I'm just humbled and grateful to have the opportunity to inspire people to go for it, right? And to dream big and that they can accomplish their dreams as well.
Great, wonderful. So we'll move to another section of the conversation where everybody would want to hear from you. So what exactly are you bringing on board? What new things are you going to do different from the Republicans or different from your opponent? What change, significant change would you bring on board as a congressman?
Well, first off the bat, right, my Republican opponent seems to be, his philosophy of leadership is about serving his own interests, right? Okay. And so he's there, he believes in cutting taxes for the rich and then cutting food stamp relief for the poor, all right? He owns certain businesses around town and he does not pay his employees a living wage, all right? So a lot of them have to go get a second job just to put food on the table.
On the table, sure.
Right. And for me, I believe in servant leadership. I believe leadership is about serving others and serving the public good. All right. And my story and my journey signifies that, going from law school to become a kindergarten teacher, and not in a rich school district, right? In an urban, underserved school district, right? That is struggling. And that has been my story. And I am seeking to serve the constituents of the 1st Congressional District of Oklahoma. All right. And then I'm seeking to build an America as good as its promise, right? One that makes true the words in the founding documents, that all men are created equal, right? And endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. And so the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness should be within reach for everybody, right? And so that includes education. It starts with education and opportunity. Then there's healthcare and economic security. There's justice and equity, and then environment and our infrastructure. All right. So I have a platform that is designed to ensure that everyone can fulfill their highest potential if they live in America.
So looking at the political space and also the general well-being and life of people of color or Black people living in America, or people of African descent, what difference would you make, or what do you think some of the things that they would need in terms of their general livelihood and then their general well-being? We are having issues of racism. We're having huge issues going around the whole world. We are talking about Black Lives Matter. And you being an African American, how does it sound to you, and what change will you bring to that?
Yeah, I think, one, we know that representation matters, right? So
Great.
It is a great thing to have leaders who look like you, right? But I think our generation, the difference between our generation and the prior generation is we don't just want to end it there, right? So yes, I'm Black. Yes, I'm Ghanaian-American. I'm African-American. And that's great for me to win. But what am I going to do once I get there? How am I going to use my voice to advocate for people, right, who look like me and come from the communities I come from, right? And so I'm going to tell the truth about America, right? The good and the bad, right? Because America is not just one story. America has the capacity to help you fulfill your dreams, but also has the capacity to kill your dreams, right? And oppress certain groups of people. And so that's what I'm going to be. I'm not going to tell a false story or false narrative about America and that everything is good and nothing to see here. All right. So that's number one. And then number two, I'm going to put forth, right, a platform and policies that actually ensure that we can level the playing field. And then one of my platform categories is justice and equity, right, which includes taking stock of our history and our past and fully acknowledging the past, right, and what happened when we enslaved Africans, right, and we brought them here to work for free for a lifetime, right, and how that contributed to America's rise in the world as a global superpower. Like, let's talk about that. Let's fully acknowledge that. And then I call it the 3 A's: acknowledgement, and then next is apology, right? Now you have to apologize for the pain you've inflicted on marginalized communities and groups of people in this country, right? And then once you apologize, then you have to make atonement, acknowledgement, apology, and atonement, right? You have to put forth a certain policy that says, I want to make recompense. I want to make things right so that we can all move forward together as one nation, all right? We haven't done that yet, right? And until we do that, we're going to continue to see all the different things that we see going on, the inequities going on in our country. So I'm going to be pushing forward for that. And it's not about dwelling in the past. It's more so about the future and being able to move forward in the future, right? And build a future that all of us can be proud of.
All right, so this is Diaspora Connect program on AU television. And one key question we always ask is that we are so happy that you are going to be a Black congressman, but most importantly, what should we expect as Africans from your leadership?
One, I mean, I'm experiencing the inspiration, right? People taking inspiration from my journey that, if he made it there, maybe there's hope for me to make it where I want to go as well. All right, so there's that. Number two is I don't shy away from my Ghanaian roots, right? I start my story telling a story of my mom and my dad, right? Growing up in Ghana, coming to the States, and wanted to fulfill their dreams, and how my formative years were spent in Ghana. The values that I still carry with me came from Ghana, right? So that's part of my story. So I'm not going to shy away from that, right? I want to make my parents proud. I want to make Ghanaians proud. And I want Ghanaians to know that they are also part of this American story and the global story, all right? And I think when people come to see that and hear that story, they will want to come to Ghana and invest, right? Because I'm not any better than the Ghanaians right now in Ghana, right? I'm not any smarter than them or any special than them. There are talented people right there in Ghana, right? And so companies that want to start companies, they're looking for, to expand and grow and find talented people who are willing to work. You can go to Ghana. Why not, right? And we know that Africa is next, right? The African continent is next this 21st century. And so Ghana ought to be on the forefront, right? We were the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain our independence, right? So we ought to be on the forefront when it comes to Africa on the global stage, developing economically, all right? So I want to help that happen.
Right. So in the next 4 years, if I should go online to Google your name, what are some of the things that you expect everybody to see that when we type your name, we should see that indeed these are the 4 or 5 key things that you achieved, not for yourself, but for the entire good people of America and then the entire globe as well?
One, I want you to be able to see that I was able to increase funding for education, right, for Oklahomans, right, and kids in the 1st Congressional District. We are right now in my state 49th, right, out of 50 states in education funding, right? So I want to be able to bring resources from the federal government right here to our state to improve educational outcomes for all kids. We also don't pay our teachers well at all. We are like 48th in teacher pay. So I want to make sure that we're paying our teachers so that we can attract talented people into the teaching profession, right? Because it is a valued profession. Like you said, kindergarten teachers not even respected. Why not? When they are teaching our future, right? The future of our nations depends on our education system, right? And our kids. And so being able to pay teachers the right amount of wage. Also making sure that folks have access to quality and affordable healthcare, all right? My mom was chasing the American dream, stressing herself out. She got sick and she couldn't afford the healthcare and she had to return to Ghana. That in the wealthiest nation on earth, you shouldn't go bankrupt just because you get sick in pursuit of your dreams. All right. So we need to have that. I also want you to see that I helped to raise the minimum wage to a living wage so that families don't have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to live and survive. That you can work one job and also put food on the table and have time to spend with your kids, to read to your kids, to take them to school, to ensure that they're successful. Right. And I want us to take stock of our history and our past, acknowledge it, apologize, and then make atonement to the descendants of the people we enslaved in this country, right? So those are the things that I want to be able to do. And then also want to inspire kids all over Ghana, right? To say, you know what? We need to fix our education system, right? The leaders to say, we need to invest in education for our kids because our kids have dreams, just like Kojo has dreams. And if we have a great education system and we give them a chance, right, to go to school and learn and apply themselves, then they can achieve their dreams and they can do even better than Kojo was able to do. All right. So those are some of the things that I want to be able to achieve.
Right. Again, on this show, also, we don't only look at what Africans seek to benefit, but if I should ask you, what do you expect or what kind of support do you expect from your fellow Africans? What would you say? Those of us on the continent, what do you expect from us?
So one, just in this campaign, right, the job is not finished yet. We won the primary. We're the Democratic nominee. In November, we're going to face the Republican incumbent, right? So we have to win in November. We have to raise money. We're running against somebody who's a millionaire. So we have to raise enough money to be able to compete, right? So if you're in Ghana and you have relatives in America, right, who are able to donate, because you can't donate if you're in Ghana, but your relatives in America can donate to our campaign, right? So tell them about our campaign. Tell them to go visit our website, kojoforcongress.com, KOJOFOR Congress.com. Learn about our platform and they can donate right there, right? And so that's the way you can support and just get the word out.
I believe you are not just speaking to only Ghanaians. Our TV platform is for the entire continent. I believe that someone in Zimbabwe, South Africa, will be inspired by what you're doing and would want to push you to that level? What message do you have for the entire continent, no matter where you find yourself?
Because I think my story is representative of all of us, right?
Absolutely.
And so if I win, we all win, right? Because I'm not somebody who came here and said, oh, I reject my African upbringing and I just assimilated to American ways and that's why I became successful. No, part of my African upbringing was part of my success, right? Part of my global outlook is what shapes my vision and my platform for how to build a successful America and therefore a successful world, right? So I am a champion for you too, right? And I think we talked about white supremacy recently with the Black Lives Matter and all sorts of things. And white supremacy says that if you're white, then you're better. And if you're not white, you're not as smart. You're not as capable, right? And that applies to us Africans, right? All around the globe, right? And people experience it, whether you're living in China or Dubai or wherever, right? There's this message that you get that, oh, if you're African, you must not be that smart. You must not be that talented. You must not be that capable. So to have an African ascend to a position like the one I'm going to changes that narrative, right? And says white supremacy is a lie and we are just as talented and we just need an opportunity to show how talented we are.
Absolutely. We are so much grateful for your time. And before we let you go, if I ask you to describe yourself with 3 adjectives, what will you say? Just 3.
So one, I'm a leader, right? I seek to lead, and leadership is all about service, right? So serving others under a common and shared vision. 2 is humble. I am a humble person, right? I seek to learn all the time and know that I don't know everything, all right? And so I have to continually learn and listen, all right? And then 3 is, I'll say I'm compassionate, all right? I'm compassionate, all right? And that is a component of my Christian faith. You have to show grace. Nobody's perfect, all right? And so you show compassion to others, and others will show compassion to you. And I think we need political leaders who show compassion, who are in a position and they want to help the least of these. They don't just want to go there and serve their own interests, right? And pad their pockets and sell out their people and their country, right? They can have the character to reject the bribes, have the character to reject just following your own interests and say, I want to advocate for my people and I want to advocate for my country and I want to see everybody thrive.
So do you have any global icon you look up to? Who do you look up to every day when you wake up in the morning? Apart from God, I know you would say, but then in terms of earth, globally, who do you look up to?
He's since passed, but Nelson Mandela has been a hero of mine, right? Somebody who just, had such great compassion, was dedicated and committed to his mission and his cause, right? Even to death, right? And even to being incarcerated, right? For 27 years. And then to come out of that without bitterness, right? And understanding that it wasn't just the oppressed that needed healing, but also the oppressor that needed healing as well. And having a vision for moving this country forward. And so forgiving, but then also empowering his own people to take charge. So yeah, Nelson Mandela is just, somebody that I really look up to. And I think he's the ultimate leader.
Thank you for joining us, and this has been Diaspora Connect, brought to you by the Association of African Universities. Follow us on social media and also follow us on our TV platform, tv.au.org. Watch all our videos. My name has been Kwesi Sam. See you same time next week. Bye.